seductive. She is passionate. She is possessive. She is pure evil. She is Christine, a 1958 Plymouth Fury, possessed by hell. Her previous owner is not alive to warn her present one. Once she lures you behind the wheel, you will be hers, body and soul. There is no place you can hide, no place you can run, and nothing you can do can stop her. Because how do you kill something that can't possibly be alive? Christine. Body by Plymouth. Soul by Satan.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Movie Overs. My name is Bob Sham.
Thank you. My name is Angela.
The sounds of your maybe dogs, and we're in our final week here of Halloween Humpfest. What a time it's been, and we don't want it to go.
Don't want it to end. I'm so excited and also so sad.
It's so fun watching all these horror movies. I feel like I get more and more into horror every time we do this is our second time, so all 2 times. And let me open up this can of sparkling water in honor of our final selection for John Carpentuesdays. Every Tuesday all month we have been discussing John Carpenter movies, especially ones that we've been long overdue to see, and they're all at least B-, but this one we're talking about today might be one of John Carpenter's most fun horrors. An example of how he can take a fairly strange idea and really make it work. I think this is a movie that really shows a lot of what Carpenter is capable of, his creative ability. We are talking about the 1983 film Christine, directed by John Carpenter, written by Bill Phillips, based on a story by Stephen King. He's different than Stephen King. Stephen King, he's a fucking nerd. But when he goes into this machine...
What is it? The UTC, the Urkel Transformation Chamber.
He comes out, he's Stephen King.
Stefan?
That's right, baby. I'm back.
Where he gets pussy and stuff. This stars Keith Gordon, John Stockwell, Alexandra Paul, and Harry Dean Stanton. Harry Dean Stanton means it's going to get a .25 added to its final score. That is the rule of Harry Dean Stanton. Cinematography by Donald M. Morgan.
This is one of the few horror movies I was allowed to watch as a child, and I've been thinking about it, and the only thing I can figure is that my dad got it past my mom because it's cars killing people, or a car. I don't know.
I could see that justification with your dad. It's like, oh, it's a cool looking car. Yeah, she can watch this one.
She likes Grease. It's the same sort of...
Kinda. If you love Grease, you'll love Christine. Maybe.
Aesthetically, I loved this car as a child.
Yeah, this movie, to put it simply, is about a killer-ass car. A car that murders.
Hell yeah.
And we see it on a line in 1957 in Detroit. It's being manufactured, and this guy gets in the car to do inspections. They realize the guy is missing, and someone comes to the car because it's playing from the radio. Like, that's the first time who turned the fucking car on? And it's playing like 50s music. And I love that it plays only 50s music. And the guy who's doing the inspection is found dead in the car. It's
because he fucking ashed on her seats. Here's the thing. Christine is the main character of this movie.
Yeah.
This is a feminist car movie.
Christine is serving cunt.
Christine is serving cunt. She does not take shit. She does not take disrespect.
She sure doesn't.
She's loyal to
she's a little
a murderous fault.
She's a little toxic in her relrelationships. Like
She
literally, like she will kill you with carbon monoxide poisoning.
Is obsessed with whoever she loves.
She's like when you meet a girl and you hook up with her and then it's like, wow, that was great. And then the next day you're like, she is fucking crazy. But I'm going to hit it at least 3 more times before this all collapses and falls apart.
Except in this case, she finds the perfect boy because he also becomes obsessed with her.
This movie is kind of about the past, about generational divides, and our main character,
Christine is the main character, but the
right.
supporting character,
Arnie, Keith Gordon, he's the nerd of the school, and he comments on at some point about he's at odds with his parents. Do seem in certain ways to be a little overbearing.
They are overbearing.
He comments on how that they're just like they're just taking their fear of getting older out on them, because the era, the time, the point in which the music that Christine plays represents more of the era that his parents are from.
Yeah.
So it's like this generational convergence with Christine, the killer car, being the through line to all of that. And in the 80s in particular, 50s shit was very popular.
Extremely.
And you can see the patterns generationally as we get older and older. By the time you hit the 50s, there's tons of movies about the 50s in the 80s,
mm-hmm.
or reminiscing about that culture, or like selling music collections of that time. And then you get into the 90s,
and it is more 70s,
and 90s is like 60s and 70s.
Oh, sorry, 60s. Yes,
because 60s is after the 50s.
Right. That's
and then the 70s,
50s, and then 60s, and then
that's how the decades. 70s, that is how history works.
And then
worked.
the 80s, because 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9. That's why 6 is afraid of 7. Other than the score by John Carpenter and Alan Howarth, I kind of wish all the popular music was 50s. I mean, most of it is, but there are moments, especially early on, where there's modern versions of old songs, and they sound fucking, at least modern for 1983. And we open the movie with the corniest song of all. The George Thoroughgood's cover of Bad to the Bone.
You hate that song.
It's the corniest fucking song ever. And it's so corny. The reason why it is because it thinks it's badass. We talked about this in Terminator 2.
I was about to say, the reason I thought it was cool in Terminator was because of this movie.
Wild.
Listen, she's bad.
She is bad. Thank God that the song was there to tell me.
My favorite thing about this movie is how she talks to people through the songs. You know, she locks her doors and starts playing You Keep a Knocking, But You Can't Come In.
I feel like there should have been more 50s
there
music.
Should have been
there should have been
more.
twice as much, because I love that aspect of it. I would have loved to have like picked the music for her to play to go back, because I do love music from that time.
Oh yeah,
like that early rock and roll. And the movie's quite entertaining.
It is so fun. The plot I could do in 30 seconds.
Do it.
It's like, okay,
I'm timing you.
Okay, really?
Yeah, in my head.
Okay. So, nerd boy has popular best friend. They're driving home one day and see Christine. She is falling apart. He buys her from this old man, and immediately his parents hate that he has it, won't let him keep it at the house, and he starts fixing her up at a garage. He fixes her up. He becomes more and more 50s all the time, starts using crazy slang.
No shitter ever came between me and Christine.
Kids try to beat her up. Then he learns that she can repair herself, and she's magical. She's also in love. She tries to kill his girlfriend. She kills a lot of people.
Your time is up.
It's the end.
All right, folks. That's been this episode. Like and subscribe. Check the show notes for.
I think you were counting a little too fast. To be
I
honest.
maybe was not perfect.
That was not nice.
But yeah, he's a down on his luck, rizless nerd. He's got no drip. And then he sees this old car on a lot. And this guy, you're talking about the slang he uses. When he meets this guy who sells him the car, he's like, what do they call him?
He calls people shitters.
Shitters. And this guy uses that word. And he talks about how his brother was obsessed with this car, but he died of carbon monoxide poisoning. And his buddy tries to talk him out of buying the car and fails miserably. Arnie is the name of our second lead that's second to Christine.
He buys this car for $300. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's fucking cheap as shit. His friend goes, dude, you can get a nice car for that much money. And I was like, it was the 80s when gas was like 20 cents a gallon.
And even if you adjust for inflation, you can still add more on the shit that we have to pay now. It's like insane.
Absolutely.
But on their first day of school, before he meets Christine and figures out how to fuck, there's these bullies here. This is the first day of school. You're getting like switchblades pulled on you.
This John Travolta looking motherfucker.
Yeah. And so we got our goons, right? Our bullies. And as far as the high school character dynamics, I really liked all these guys. I like the Dennis character, his jock buddy who's chill with him.
He's the sweet jock.
He really does pull it off. Like the funny dynamics of that high school. Like, we've seen it 1,000 times, but I feel like this one, it really does work here really well. There
was a sincerity to his performance that is often lacking in a film like this.
I wonder if he's Dean Stockwell's son.
I was wondering that too. I didn't realize his last name was Stockwell.
Let me see if I can find it out. Relatives, no. Florence Welch is his niece, though.
I don't know who that is.
Me either. I just said that like I knew, and I don't.
He did a great job, though. I thought he was really good. He gets injured pretty early in the movie, so he's in the hospital for most of the time.
We thought it was going to be Friday Night Lights for a second, like he's going to be disabled, but, you know, like first episode of the series. Classic show. But yeah, he's also trying to cruise on this haughty brunette who dresses like a small English boy in a private school.
They say she dresses like she's smart, but she has the body of a slut.
I don't know how her body is so, I mean, she's a pretty girl.
The other girl's prettier. The other girl that likes
the blonde
Dennis
that actually
is
likes
prettier.
him.
And she's in other stuff. I know that face.
So Dennis goes up to her and he's like, what's up? But he strikes out because she seems nice to him. But when he asks her out, she's like, to the dance after the game or whatever. She's like, I already have a date. And this is after Arnie has gotten the car. So Arnie goes to this garage, and a very cantankerous garage guy, the guy who runs the garage.
I know a creep when I see one. I think I'm looking at one right now. You're on probation. You get it? You screw around with me one time, I don't care how much money you paid up in front, I'll throw you out in your ass. You got it? Huh?
Yes, sir.
But he warms up to him, and it's very sweet how he learns to like Arnie. And very sad when he gets killed.
That's the worst one.
See, Christine, we like it when you kill the bullies, but not the cool garage manager. But he lets him work on the car, and he can take parts from the junkyard if he just does work around there.
And he somehow finds every single thing that he needs.
Christine's like totally stripped and like old and kind of rusted when he gets her. And then when he becomes more and more obsessed, then it's almost like, I don't know if he was mechanically inclined, but in his obsession, it's almost like he becomes so. I
think that she is telling him what to do.
Yeah.
He's under a spell.
You think he like stuck his dick in the gas tank? Like that's how they...
I don't think that, but he does caress her and he does talk to her like she's a woman. They tell him her name is Christine. So she came with that name. And as this is progressing as well, as he's getting her to where she needs to be, his clothes change. He stops wearing his glasses. His hair starts to get a little pompadour going on.
He joins the T-Birds. When Dennis hurts himself real bad, it's because he's making a play in the game and is distracted because he sees Arnie with the newly rigged up Christine car
making out with the brown-haired girl.
The girl who rejected him. So it's like, oh, fucking Arnie's got the girl that everyone wants. Yeah, it's so distracting to him.
That he ruined his entire football career.
Yeah, really. Like, bro, why couldn't you be more happy for your homie, I guess?
He was just shocked.
But Arnie's parents, everyone's against him having this car. Even his friend. But Dennis does some investigating and finds out it wasn't just dude's brother that died of carbon monoxide. the dude's daughter like killed
got
herself.
strangled. No, the little girl got she choked to death. The little girl
choked
choked to death in the car. And his wife also died of carbon monoxide poisoning. In the car. Around that same time that we find this out, he's taken the brunette to the drive-in, and he gets out for some reason. Christine locks the doors, and the girl's eating like a hot dog or something. I can't remember. She's eating, and she starts choking in the car, and Christine is choking her. The lights get real bright. He can't get in.
He keeps a knocking, but he can't get into the car. It's a bit of a weird stretch. Like, how does Christine, with the glowing lights, as she's trapped Arnie outside of the car, how does she get her to choke on her hot dog? And it's something, if you really think about it, it's like, it's a little strange.
Every other kill makes sense.
It's true. When he's straight up running over people, it makes sense.
Yeah, or even practically, because we learn at a point that Christine can move her parts on her own. So even if she's like, oh, I'm going to push this seat up and squish you, like, it all makes sense. But this one does not make sense. And the white, bright light, where the fuck did that come from? Yeah,
that was really the only time we see it. And
this is the most that it's like a ghost. That's the part that makes you think it's a ghost.
Yeah, like a haunted car. You know,
I was wondering if she was being like physically choked or if she was just choking on the hot dog.
Like it's a bit of a poltergeist scenario.
Maybe.
Well, the movie is so fun enough that you don't really linger on these weird things. Although, if you really analyze them, it is strange. His girlfriend, she does not trust the car.
Yeah.
Some other guy had to open the door, and he got the door open, even though Arnie got locked out. And he gives her the Heimlich. But Arnie he wants to keep his girlfriend, but the girlfriend knows that the car is just fucking weird. And she has an instinct that, like, the girl, it's like being in a group of other people, and she knows that one of the girls used to hook up with, like, the man she's with, like that kind of vibe. Like, oh, she's staring daggers at me. Like, she feels that with the car. So what happens when the car, did the car get into some wreckage?
Yeah, so he's got the car parked at the garage.
His parents will not let him park it at the house, which is weird. It's like a nice car.
You know, the speech he gives them, it totally makes sense. He's like, listen, I make good grades. I'm going to go to college. I do this and this and this and this, and I've never gotten in trouble. And you fucking don't want me to have a car? Like, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
He even paid for it himself. Give me a fucking break. But it would junk up their yard to have this gorgeous car in the driveway. Whatever. Stupid. So he has to leave it there. Well, he's taking it back maybe even that same night. And the bully guys have decided that he doesn't deserve anything nice, right? They're jealous because he's got the girl in the car and he's cool all of a sudden. So they sneak in and hide while he drops it off and he leaves. And then they beat the fuck out of Christine. They are like pissed. They say they shit on the dashboard. They're like ripping the seats with knives. They're got bats and everything. It's so rude.
So he walks up with his girlfriend. Her name is Lee, played by Alexandra Paul, and
she forgives him the next day.
They walk up to the garage to get the car, and they see it's totaled, and he freaks out on her like,
"Don't touch me, shitter! Oh, this is just me. Get away from her! Get away from her!"
And he's tore up. So she leaves, and then the car then proceeds to repair itself. The way this is done is pretty fucking great.
I love the setup for it because he walks over to her, and I can't remember if she plays a song or if he just gets a feeling. He walks about 15 feet away, and he turns around and looks at her and goes,
"Okay. Show me."
Show me. And it's so sexual. It's so weird. It's like he's telling her, like, take your clothes off. It's like so intense in that moment. And so he's like, show me. Ooh. And she just starts, because he was by her. And then all of a sudden the engine was fixed.
Yeah.
And he saw it and he went,
and this car was fucked, right? And it completely fixes itself. Kind of makes you wonder why it didn't fix itself at first, but maybe it needed to fall in love in order to do so.
I think that for whatever reason she killed her previous owner, she was heartbroken.
Yeah.
And she let herself rust out.
She got depressed.
I think that happened probably very quickly. I really do. I think she probably looked good until he stopped loving her. And that's probably why she killed him. But I think she was depressed. And so she looked like shit as...
It's really easy to project feelings onto this car.
It really is. And then when she found him, she showed him how to fix her, and his love made her stronger. And now when she got beat up, she was sad, but she waited until he was there because I think she needed him. Now at this point, now she's magic. And we knew that already, but she's fixing herself. So anything that happens to her, she can just pop herself right back together. She starts killing these boys.
Yeah, and we don't know if anyone's in the car at this point because you can't see past the lights, right? So she goes and she kills the fat bully first. She corners him and like hits him in a way, and they describe that he was essentially like cut in half. And then he kills a couple other ones, and the main bully with the switchblade, she blows up a whole fucking gas station trying to get to this dude, runs into this shop where one of the bullies works, kills him, blows the gas line in there, sparks hit the gas, this whole thing bursts into flames, and then she comes rolling through the gas pump. She's on fire. The main bully's like sprinting down the street, and you see this, it's so fucking cool, this burning car just, and the way he shoots it, like it's really clever because we don't actually see her hit him, but it's just like we see the half a second right after it happens.
And she's so intent on killing him that where he goes, she can't fit into. She fucking just rips her sides off in order to kill him because she can put him back. Also, he wasn't in the car because he was doing something else, because this is where we get Harry Dean Stanton. He comes in to be like, what the fuck has happened to these kids? And he's questioning our dude because
Lee, his girlfriend, told him that his car was fucking wrecked. Someone shat on the dashboard, and he's like, well, your car seems fine now. She described it was totaled.
He's
what
like,
happened to the shit on the dash? What did happen to the shit on the dashboard? Christine ate the shit. She absorbed it into her body when
absolutely.
She fixed herself.
Also, why are these boys who beat up your car dying?
The kid was cut in half, Arnie. They had to scrape his legs up with a shovel.
Well, isn't that what you're supposed to do with shit? Scrape it up with a little shovel?
Harry Dean Stanton, one of our dogs, by the way.
That is my dog. That is my dog.
Really seems to be very intuitive as to where to look for. Do you think he knows it's a killer car at that point? This is Columbo levels of I got you pegged, right? Where it seems very vague, but you just get the feeling like he knows everything about what's going on.
You could project a backstory on that to where if the guy who owned Christine before was from around there, maybe he's seen some crazy shit before. Maybe he talked
to the other guy, yeah.
Maybe he's seen this car before, or he thinks maybe he did. I don't know. But he does question our dude, but the dude has an alibi, and he's so cocky. Our guy,
yeah,
he's not nice to anybody after a point. He even calls the girl, I can't remember her name. He calls the girl, seemingly is telling her, let's get back together, even though he knows Christine hates her. And he's talking about, you got to forgive me. We got to get back together. And when she says no, he's like, you fucking bitch. Like, he just starts screaming.
It'd have been funny if they were making out and he was like, I'd love it if you got your skin painted the same color as Christine's. I think that'd be great.
That was one of the super weird questions Harry Dean Stanton asked, was where that paint came from, because it's like a color that's not made anymore. And he's like, oh, I found it at this certain store.
Some place far away or something, yeah.
So silly.
So he hasn't been in the car. Lee has pretty much ran off, and Dennis and Lee they've come together because they know that there's something different about the car. They've got to destroy the car. They know that the car's probably the one that killed their bullies.
What I love is that she believes the car is doing it at this point. He does not yet believe the car is doing it, but he knows the car is bad for his best friend who has completely changed. So regardless, he's in. And she's pretty.
So they get, during this part
they
where
get touchy-feely.
Yeah, straight up Dennis. Take care of the business. Let them finalize their arrangements. And then if she's free, go for it.
Absolutely.
Little shady. He's still your boy, isn't he? So he gets
I don't know. It's some construction thing.
It's a bulldozer.
Okay.
And he's set up to where they're going to try to bait the car out, and they follow Arnie driving Christine over there.
The car's not there. So they're in the garage waiting for Arnie to bring Christine back to the garage because she's not parked in her parking spot. Because they go there and think, oh, we'll burn her up or something. They don't know can fix herself, and she's not there. So they set up this whole thing where when he comes with her, she's going to close the garage door and he's going to go after it with the bulldozer. But what they don't realize, like right when they get set up, before she can get into the room to protect herself, all of a sudden, Christine and Arnie turn the car on. They've been in the corner watching them this whole fucking time get ready to try to take them out. They were in the garage already, waiting. And then he comes out and tries to hit her. There's this whole part that's crazy where the car, it hits things and then it repairs itself. And Arnie is trying to run her over, or Christine is, but Arnie's behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And Dennis gets her in this space where she's protected by the bulldozer. And Christine is just trying side after side to just get at her. She just wants to murder this girl.
Yeah.
It's so crazy, but
Lee ends up going into the office area, and Christine, with Arnie behind the wheel, crashes into there, but hits something, and Arnie goes flying through the windshield, and that fucks him up, and it kills him. Yeah. So now Arnie's dead. So Christine even though Arnie's dead, is still able to fix herself, and they're witnessing this car as they crush it, like fix itself up at the same. It looks fucking cool as hell, and they're just having to like crush it over and over and over and over until finally we get to the end of the movie.
Yeah, because the bulldozer's completely on top of it, and she can't repair herself because she doesn't have anywhere to go. This is my favorite part, and this is the part that I have thought about so many times through the years. They get to the very end. It's the next morning. They're in the junkyard, and they have crushed Christine into a square of metal.
You two are heroes,
Yeah. Real hero could have saved Arnie.
We didn't do so hot.
Talking about it's finally over. It's this square of metal. And then you hear 50s music. This guy comes out with a boombox. You're like, oh, it's not Christine. But then
the little parts that's bent up starts to twitch.
God, I hate rock and roll.
She has all the time in the world.
Yeah.
She gonna put herself back to fucking together.
It'd still be very tempting, even if you told me what the MO of this car is. Mm-hmm. I would probably still be like, that's my car.
Hell yeah.
And I'd just be like, don't kill me, baby. Don't kill me.
Yeah.
I think I could get Christine to compromise a little, though she might kill you.
Right. Well, and can we just have a three-way?
Where be in a throuple
what if
with
I'm
Christine?
Like, Christine, I also love you.
Christine, we love your music. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
You're not going to play George Thorogood's "Bad to the Bone" because that's not from the 50s. But you'll play like Del Shannon's "Runaway" or something. A great song.
So good.
Yeah, I would totally take this car knowing that it murdered people. Christine.
But you would just have a conversation that's like, Christine, listen, I want to keep you forever so we can't murder anybody. Because then I'll have to go to jail.
How fucking fun is this movie? I mean,
I love it.
I mean, for the Carpenter movies, like They Live was a lot of fun. I think this might even be a little more fun than that. Just a little bit, you know?
This is the perfect horror movie for me. It's so much fun.
And that's the movie Christine from '83, directed by our dog, John Carpenter.
Starring our dog, Harry Dean Stanton.
That's right. We're going to give this 1 through 5 each, combined for best out of 10. What do you give the movie Christine by John Carpenter? You said to me, to you it was a perfect.
I love it.
I know, but what is your score?
As a 4.5.
I'm going to give it a 4. So that brings it to an 8.5. You add the Harry Dean Stanton rule, which adds a 0.25. It is an 8.75 film. Christine is almost a 9. Folks, take a look. The immensely entertaining Christine by John Carpenter is an 8.75. It is in between the documentary Cave of Forgotten Dreams by Werner Herzog and Denis Denis Villeneuve's first Dune from 2021. It's at least as good as those movies, if not better. And that does it for John Carpenter movies, at least during Halloween Humpfest. He might pop up again. We'll see. You never know. Not everything is a pure horror that he's done. You got Big Trouble in Little China, and you got Escape from New York, which is like a sci-fi, dystopian sci-fi.
I want to see both of those.
And I mean, look, let me just pull up his oeuvre here, and I'll throw the image on the screen. Just a simple Wikipedia listing. All right, get this. From 1976 to 1988. These are John Carpenter movies. Assault on Precinct 13, banger. Halloween, ultra banger. The Fog, banger. Escape from New York, banger. The Thing, masterpiece. Christine, banger. Starman, never seen it actually.
Oh, it's good.
Big Trouble in Little China, banger. Prince of Darkness, banger. They Live, banger.
Starman is fun.
Bro's got like 9 movies here that are just quality after quality. We love our dog, John Carpenter. Tomorrow, it'll be Halloween Eve. And we didn't preview a selection for Halloween Eve. If you saw our fun little preview that I put together, our little trailer for Halloween Humpfest, you'll notice that we kept the 30th is not shown on there. And that's because I told Angela to pick a horror movie that has come out this year, and then we will discuss it. And the one that we are discussing as of this recording is in the theaters right now. It is Coralie Fargeet's The Substance. So come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about some body horror. And then it's Halloween, where we do a 6-pack episode of the remaining movies of the Halloween franchise. All right. So check the show notes, links, other places to find us. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of John Carpenter, his movies, this movie. And it's almost all over. But there will still be other movies. They just won't be horror.
Sometimes they will.
Sometimes they will be.
Happy Halloween.
My love must be a kind of blind love. I can't see anyone but you. John, 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 John.